Hey everybody, it's Brandon, the Weekend Cruiser, where I go on a weekend cruise just about every weekend. And this week, I have been on Virgin Voyages Scarlet Lady, which has been a beautiful ship. And definitely check out some of the other videos that I'm going to be making about reviewing this and really kind of comparing it to the Royal Caribbean product, which I don't know if that's a fair thing to do or not. But that's what I compare everything to. So today, I'm going to give you the room tour of their Sea Terrace XL. Now, a Sea Terrace is what Virgin calls their balcony cabins or balcony staterooms. And so the XL means that it's an extra large or a little bit larger one, and I'll show you what that means as we do the room tour. But this is 14326A. So 14 is the floor number, 326 is the room number that I'm in, and A means that I'm on the port side of the ship. If I had Z behind this, that would mean I'm on the starboard side of the ship. So honestly, that the naming convention does make the room a little bit easier to find here on the ship. So let's jump on in and do a full room tour of stateroom 14326A here on Virgin Voyages Scarlet Lady. All right, so this is stateroom 4326A. You'll see that this is my nifty little insignia letting you know that this is my room. This is where I'm also going to put the band to unlock the door. So you don't actually use the door to unlock it. You use this, I don't know if it's an RFID, but you're going to put your band there that they give you, and this is how you're going to unlock your room. It also has a doorbell to it. Yeah, all of the rooms do have a doorbell. Again, this is at the very forward section of the ship on deck 14. So you'll see the hallway does skew around a little bit there. And if I come to the other direction, you'll see that there are the officers' quarters as well as the actual bridge itself. So needless to say, this is a very quiet hallway. Coming into the room, I'm going to turn and go directly behind me just to show you. You've got your evacuation plan, so should anything happen. But this is also where it is on the ship. The ship looks a little bit different because of the design that it takes, but that'll show you about where this room is located. You're also going to have your light switches in addition to the do not disturb light and the please make up my room light. So that device that I showed you on the front of the door, beside the door, these are going to reflect there. So if I don't want anybody to disturb me, I'm going to leave that on as red. One thing I'll say about these that I haven't really liked is that they're pretty bright. And you all know I like to sleep in a darker room, but with this being on, I can still see it going all the way to the bedroom. So not something that I'm a huge fan of, but I kind of like the system overall. You're going to have some hooks here if you want to hang some stuff up. And this is going to be your first and only full-length mirror. Hey, everybody. And if I turn behind me, you'll see the bathroom setup. And so this is an open door bathroom setup, if you will, where the sink is in an open area. I do love the fact that it's got huge amounts of counter space to it. So I can easily spread out, put all of my stuff on this counter. And I really enjoy that fact. I do keep it a little on the messy side, but that is just me. And then you've got even more storage down below. The water closet and the shower and the toilet are both in separate rooms. So if you want to take a shower, this is where you're going to come. And I'll say that this has been one of my favorite features of this cabin is this massive shower. This is much better than on Royal Caribbean's balcony rooms where you have the enclosure or the circle that comes around you. You're also going to have some updated or upgraded amenities there, I should say. The rain shower here does a wonderful job. The pressure and the temperature on this shower, if you like a hot shower, this is the place for you. Now, if I come over here, you've also got your toilet area. I personally don't like to feel trapped while sitting on the toilet, so I also often will just leave the door open. But that is what our toilet looks like on this room. And this is one of the features that really makes this an XL cabin is going to be its bathroom with that big sink. The other ones you're going to find have a little bit smaller iteration to it. Over here, you also are going to have your thermostat, so you can change this by touching it. And it's not anything that you have to depress. You just, kind of rub your finger over it and it's going to update itself. I did have the air conditioner over here. You'll see that in the middle of the room was leaking on me because of the condensation humidity. It is the month of August at this point out in the Caribbean. And so I think that's just the nature of the game, but that is what was happening there. I'll swing back around and show you the closet. So I would like to tell you all that I keep the curtain there closed for the closet most of the time because I don't like to see kind of my mess that's over there. So that's a downside to me, is I don't have a dedicated closet or space to put this stuff. And I'm just lazy and don't feel like pulling the curtain, which I could do. The live vests were also over here in this compartment, and I moved those because I wanted to use that for more of my goodies. You've got your safe here. And, you know, these drawers here, they're just really shallow. There's not a lot of depth to them. They've got a little bit more in that one there. But for shelving, I would say this, you know, stateroom is a little bit lacking on that. And that is all the true shelving you're going to have. Suitcases down here on the bottom. And you've got plenty of power outlets. So if I talk about something this room does have, it is power outlets. So they've got a lot of USB-A as well as American plugs all over the place. And so these are my light switches to the room. And then I've got the nice little nightstand, I guess. It's more of a contemporary style look to it. One thing you'll also see is that the Virgin Voyages brand is all throughout their cruise ship and in this cruise room. So you see that they even made the blanket up in the form of a V for Virgin, and it is the Virgin colors. One thing that I'll say that I've really liked about this room is that they did actually give me this blanket here. It is a nice blanket. It came in and said it had been, you know, washed since the last cruise. I'm one who does like to take naps, and when I take a nap, I want to make sure that I have a blanket or my legs covered at least. On Royal Caribbean ships, I've often found myself using towels to wrap myself up, especially if I have sand on my feet or something like that. And I don't want to, you know, get in the bed. I'll just grab some towels, but this would be a great alternative. The bed has slept really well. I have enjoyed sleeping on the bed. It does not have an actual blanket to it, which I have found not odd necessarily, but it's just a more European style. But it is just one comforter there that has kept my temperature fairly regulated. A few times I woke up late, or not late, woke up hot, but you know, that has not been too big of an issue. Additional light switches over here. My mixers and elixirs didn't really find a very good home in here. So you've got this drawer down here, so you can pull that out and store things in there, but it's on the floor for the most part, so it's difficult to get to. And I don't necessarily understand what this space is supposed to be. This tray here actually has a really nice kind of pattern on it. You can kind of see a little bit, but I just use it for my mixers and elixirs, and it seems to work very well for that purpose. The hairdryer I have over here because I can't get to the plugs over here. They are all behind my laptop, and it's just not a lot of room. So I've been using the hairdryer over on this side, and there's another plug right over here for an American outlet and two more USB-As behind it. That is another nightstand that was beside the bed, but you guys know that I love to rearrange the room, so I moved that over there just to kind of get it out of the way. The chair here is decent. The cushion on it, I mean, this kind of looks like an afterthought, like somebody made the chair and then went, holy crap, that's going to sit horrible because there's no padding to it. So it looks like they literally just added padding to the chair. It's extremely deep. I've been putting a pillow behind me to sit in it to just push me up a little bit more so that I can get to the computer, of course. They do have the only other seating option in the room is this little stool. So if you want to work on your posture, something that I certainly need to do, the stool is a great touch. I have actually been using the stool a lot, and it's not bothering me too bad. If anything, I get to recognize that I am not sitting all the way up. You're going to have another mirror here with, you know, just some neat design to it. So these are just cool little touches where they change the color, but it still acts as a mirror. And you are going to have additional power outlets down here. So that is the only European plug that's going to be in here. And then you're going to have two more Americans as well as USB-A chargers that are here. And I will call out the little iPad that is here. It is up on its charging device. Traditionally, I will sleep with that on the nightstand beside me so that I can use it if I need to, but it controls your lights. So if I want to turn off all the lights and close the blinds, I can do that, or I can turn them on. I can do that with the curtains. You can turn your TV on and also select shows here. There are also ways that you can call for service. So if I wanted to say that, hey, I want room services to come through, I need fresh towels, something of that nature, this is also where I could let my stateroom attendants know, which I have two stateroom attendants that can come and take care of these for me. And they have been fantastic so far. But they do only clean the room once per day. So make sure that you are thinking about when you're going to be coming and going from the room. They've been great to work with, and honestly, I've not had an issue with it being just once per week. So that has worked very, very well for me. One other thing I'll call out is The space between the couch, or not the couch, the bed and the TV is really small. So I don't think that this room is any smaller than a traditional Royal Caribbean balcony room, but in the Royal Caribbean rooms, there is nothing directly in front of the bed. So when you're walking up against the wall, you're not hitting into anything. I can't tell you how many times my shoulder has caught this edge right here because that's not a lot of room. Your leg needs to be rubbing up against the bed or you're going to hit the TV. And I'm not even that big of a guy or that wide of a guy. So if you are a little bit more wide than I am, that might be an issue for you. This bed also does convert into a couch. Though interestingly, the stateroom attendants haven't really offered that as an option for me to convert this into a couch. Quite frankly, I'm fine with it being a bed. I don't necessarily want them to go through the hassle, and I don't know if it will count towards one of my cleanings or not. So I have been absolutely fine having it like this. It would kind of be nice during the day to have more room, but I kind of also like knowing that I have the bed in case I want to take a nap at some point. You're going to have a little bit of storage down here in the bottom. You see that that is the only storage that I have. So I have done a good job of cleaning up for you all. I know when I invite people into my cabin with these stateroom tours, I want it to look used, but also not a mess. And I will say that this desk, the way that it is designed with the angle to it, has been really hard to keep organized and keep straight. Things don't really have a place on the desk and cords have been going everywhere and it's been a lot. So I actually haven't really enjoyed the desk setup here because I'm missing some additional storage options where I can put things, and I normally just don't cram everything into shelves like you see there. You're also going to have a chiller over here. So if you want to come in and check out your chiller, you can. This is a small little size, and everybody does get, this is not bottled water, but this is Natura water that is delivered to every room. So the staff, our stateroom attendants do bring that in every time they come in and clean, and they've also kept my ice bucket well full. This is a signature Virgin Voyages bottle opener. I think it's a little bit big for a bottle opener for my taste, but it gets the job done. And you see that the phone, I'm just going to mention it because it's really streamlined. There's only 3 buttons on here. You're either going to go to emergency, medical, or you're going to go to sailor services, which is what they call the guest on board this ship. You see again, you've got some more light switches here, and you can open and close the blinds from here. My blinds have not actually been closing all the way. So even though it tells me that, you know, I'm closing the blinds and I can see the blinds closing, they don't always actually close all the way. They leave probably about a foot gap in between, which is unfortunate because I still have to either get out of bed or make sure that I'm coming in and tucking them in so that they are fully closed. The doors, I will say, to the balcony open and close extremely easily. So hopefully the camera is not going to fog up as I come out here. I'll give it a little bit of second to adjust. But you've got 2 small chairs here. I honestly have not sat in the chairs much at all because you've got this amazing hammock over here. Why would you sit in one of those metal chairs, which honestly do not look very comfortable? I have moved them a little bit out of the way. They kept them up against that teeny little coffee table there. But that is one place that, you know, you can maybe put a cup up there, but I would not try to eat out here on that table. All right, so it did fog over on me, but that is all right. I sat out here in the hammock for a little bit. Again, I was just saying that the metal chairs, not that terribly comfy, but the hammock is extremely comfortable. If I come out here to show you the type of views that I have, you'll see that there is the bridge, the fly bridge particularly, that overlooks the side of the ship. And you can see all the way down the rest of the ship. She is a beautiful ship. Oh, let me come and sit here. So this is the stateroom tour of Virgin Voyages Scarlet Lady 14326A. Here, the very forward portion of the ship. The room has been absolutely fine. It feels a little bit tight with the positioning of the bed, and there's not a lot of storage space for just knickknacks and things that I bring on a cruise. But otherwise, it's been a really nice room. I've really enjoyed this hammock. I've taken several naps here just about every single day, and it has been a great time. All right, everyone, this is Brandon, the Weekend Cruiser. Hoping to see you on a weekend cruise soon.